Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Konig XB16 snow tire chains here on our 2020 Chevy Equinox. So this is going to be an excellent way, guys, of getting you that traction control that you're looking for if you do find yourself in that snow and ice, and if you do find yourself somewhere in a ditch, hopefully getting you out of there, which is going to be excellent. Now, we always suggest to put these on before you find yourself in that sticky situation, but what I really like about these guys, even if we are in that muck and mire or just having to do this on the side of the highway somewhere with that snow and ice, what's really nice about it, we're going to stay on the outside of our vehicle as we get this installed. Now, I'm going to show you that, guys, just here in a second. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these chains. So one thing to take note of on here, on our Equinox, we really don't have too much room between our strut here and our wheel. That is why we're going to need a Class S compatible chain, and lucky for us, our Konig here is, so we should be a-okay to have no interaction. So our chains are going to be made of a manganese nickel alloy, which is excellent to go ahead and resist against a lot of that corrosion that we're going to be experiencing, let alone just the weather. But we do have a lot of salt and chemicals out there on those roads. We also are having a diamond style pattern on here. What that means for ourselves, we're seeing those connector chains pulling this in line, and that means we're going to have constant contact with our chains around our wheel. If you're comparing this to something more like a traditional ladder style that I'm sure we're all kind of used to seeing of chains, that's going to give you that hills and valleys feeling. Right now, that's not bad. It gives you excellent start and stop maneuvers. However, when you try to make turns, you're losing a little bit in that turning radius because you have to accelerate over them. In my opinion, these kind of give you that best of both worlds kind of situation where we're getting that solid contact all the way around our wheel, but we're not having to fight ourselves as we're going around it, make it for a nicer, smoother ride. So I really do like these chains. One thing, as I mentioned kind of earlier on in the video, is how easy these are to get installed. But there's going to be a couple caveats we got to keep in mind of where we actually install these and how. Today we are working on two 25, 65 R17 tires. Let's make sure we're putting our own tire size in the fit guide here at etrailer.com. That way we get the right fit for our vehicle. And to that end too, the Equinox here primarily is going to come with a front wheel drivetrain. So a lot of us are going to have that. Now, if you are a few individuals out there with an all-wheel drive package, it's always going to be safer just to go ahead and grab two pairs of chains and throw them on both sets of wheels. And there's kind of a varying opinion out there of which ones you should throw it on. In my mind, the front's probably still going to be your best option, as that's probably where you're getting a lot of your steering. And as you go to stop, that weight and momentum of your vehicle is going to carry that weight towards these front tires, making it a little bit easier to actually stop. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and see how we can get it installed. To begin your installation, all we need to do is lay out our chain just like so. What we're looking for here, maybe our chain has made some kinks while it's been packed away, so we just need to lay it all out, making sure that it's going to have the necessary room to actually conform to our wheel. Taking a look here too, I really haven't found too much issue. A lot of times what ends up happening though, guys, this little cable likes to get looped through one of your chains. All you gotta do, walk it right out. That's usually the biggest issue I have with them. The other thing we need to take note of though is gonna be our soft points of contact. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, on this side, we're gonna have softer, smoother sides, and the other, we're gonna have those kind of hard points where our chain's been brought over. Now, we don't want that making contact with our wheel, as that can end up, damaging it, fraying it, and maybe even puncturing it. So we definitely don't want that. So with that out of the way, all we need to do, group up our chain. I like kind of keeping it to the sides here, as we actually are gonna be throwing this around our tire and enveloping it. And just like that to the other side. A couple things I like to do as well. Take our little pulley system here. This is going to be our bottom chain. I like keeping that nice and tight there to our wheel. Just makes it a little easier to get that fitment in my opinion. But then we need to take two ends of our cable and make our connection here in the back. Just like that, it's nice and secure. We can walk this back, set it up, and now make our first connection here in the front. Now to start, I'm just going to be simply starting here on the very end. Now later on, we may shorten this up depending on our fit. For today's purposes though, it looks like it might be a-okay. Let's try it out. Now we need to take our pulley system here and our tensioner or our extra chain, run it through our pulley by opening up that clasp, closing it. And now I can even stand up and really cinch this in. So as I pull this in, I want to go ahead and double check all my chains. To me, it does feel like this is all just a little loose. So what I'm going to do as well, I actually am going to back this off, maybe go to this second connection or even this third. Let's see how that works. Well, with our top connection shortened up, now I can do a really good job of pulling this nice and tight, trying as much as I can, of course, to get that tension that we're looking for. Maybe I can get one more. No, I think that's probably gonna do me. And now I need to run these through both of my red clips, just like so, and take my tensioner to the other side. What I like to do as well, grip here towards the bottom. Can be very helpful to actually grip here, as you don't want to put too much pressure with your hands on this segment. So by doing that, we can walk it across, make sure our hook is pointed out, of course, and there we are, nice and installed. All we really need to do, double check all of our connections here, make sure it's solid, make sure there's no chains where you can really fit like a finger or two under, but other than that, we're ready to rock and roll. Overall, really big fan of this tire chain system. Now, the one thing I'll say, I think it falls just short of the Konig XG12s. Why I say that? That actually is going to give you a self-tensioner system. Now, this does a great job of keeping in line as you drive, but I really like that self-tensioner because as we drive, it's going to tension it up even more and more. Now, again, this clip system works great. I would just go ahead and maybe look at that upgrade if I were you guys. Overall too though, you are getting this nice little traveling case. It becomes really nice to keep this inside your vehicle. That way, no matter where the situation is or where the need arises, we have the chains to get the job done. Overall, really like how this is gonna hold up for the years to come, and that way we can get safely to our destination. Otherwise guys, I think that about does it for our look here today at the Konig XB16 snow tire chains on our 2020 Chevy Equinox. I'm Bobby, thank you for watching.